So when you think of Australia, you think of kangaroos, Ayers Rock, Steve Irwin, but there's an Australian icon that I believe we always forget, and that is the Toyota 70 series. My name's Salvatore Gerace and this is Exhaust Notes Australia. And in this review, we're going to find out, is the 70 series, in this case the 76 series, the wagon, the future, or is it sacrilegious? Because this is the 4-cylinder turbo diesel with the automatic. Bit of controversy in the 4x4 community, but we're going to find out, is this it? Is this the car to dethrone the V8 dinosaur? So what's changed on this prehistoric beast? Well, exterior speaking, on this 2024 70 series, it's the front end. The front end is the biggest change. We've got this retro front end now with the retro headlights and the retro grille, just to take a bit of inspiration of the Land Cruisers of the past. A lot of people are sitting on the fence with the look of this. I personally like it. It's just this bumper bar that I'm a bit like on the fence about, but let's be honest guys, most of you are just gonna put a bull bar on it, so really, it doesn't really matter. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments, do you like the front end? Do you like the look of it? Or do you like the previous generation? But I'm gonna leave you with this analogy guys, just to let you know what the Land Cruiser 70 series is all about. The 70 series is like your grandparents, okay? They move into a modern home, has all the modern tech, but all the furniture and everything they move into it dates back to the 1970s and it is built to last. That's exactly what a 70 series is like. It has all the modern tech now, but everything underpinning, everything all about this car, inside and out, dates back to the 1970s and will be a legitimate workhorse and will not break. I promise you that. So the side profile, like I said, it's the same as it's always been. It still looks the same. It looks awesome, it looks rugged. It looks like a Tonka truck, which I love. So it's just boxy, hasn't changed. However, there are little things that have changed. You've got these blinkers that sit on the outside now. You've got this bonnet that's now got a bulge in it. The reason for that is now we have a front mounted intercooler, no longer a top mount, which previous generation did because they had a hood scoop on the top. However, that bulge makes it look like it has a massive nose when you look on it from the side profile. I wish they changed it up a bit, but I understand why they've done that. It's for pedestrian safety. So with this model, the wagon, you get electric door mirrors, same with the Troopy. Unfortunately, on the Utes, you don't get that. It's just an unfortunate thing. You've also got side steps that look like they came off a construction site of scaffolding. I'll be honest, it just does. And then you've got this rear filler cap that you use your key to open it, which I think is hilarious, but I understand why they do that. But let's talk about the 4x4 capabilities. I'm gonna go into that right now. All right, let's touch base on the off-roading capabilities of this beast. Now, there are plenty of videos out there, guys, if you wanna watch this thing go off-road and see how capable it is, because it is, okay? But I'm gonna touch base on a few things. First of all, you have front and rear live axles, you've got front and rear locking diffs, you've got auto locking front hubs, okay? You've also got a payload capacity of about 1,200 kilos and a brake towing capacity of 3,500 kilos. Also, it just weighs over 2,300 kilos, the car itself, and its GVM is 3,500 kilos. So I hope that's enough for you to understand its off-roading capabilities. But let's get back into the reasons why I think this thing is better than the V8. So this is where all the controversy of the 70 series has come from, and it's this 2.8 litre 4-cylinder diesel motor that comes from the Hilux and the Prado. Okay, so for the first time in a long time, they've put a 4-cylinder in here. Okay, so all the purists out there are hating on this, or some of them, okay, but let's be honest guys, I honestly personally think that this 4-cylinder is more capable and more efficient than the V8 dinosaur that it takes over. The V8 isn't a bad engine by any means, but this 4-cylinder I personally think is more modern and more capable. It makes 150 kilowatts and 500 Newton meters of torque, so it makes more torque than the V8 and is mounted to a 6-speed automatic transmission. They've also changed the intercooling system of the car as well. Instead of it being a air-to-air intercooler system, they've changed it to a charge-cooled system, so that means it's a water-to-air intercooler system to make it more efficient and to be able to take the punishment that it's going to endure out in the outback and in the mines, because that's where this car is predominantly used. But guys, I'm going to show you when we take this for a drive why I think this 4-cylinder is way better than the V8 and how it just makes daily living with this car a lot easier as well. So, the rear end of the car, what's changed? Well, not much really. You've still got a full spare tire that sits on the back, which is nice. It's not just a space saver. You've got a split tailgate that hasn't changed for centuries. And then you also got a big boot. One thing to mention, guys, if you really are looking at buying one of these to have your family in it, there are no top tether points or ISOFIX anchor points for your baby seats. You actually have to use an aftermarket option to do that. But there is heaps out there. And I'm just going to mention that because most people do buy this to transport the family around. Let's just touch base about the rear, because this is the worst part about the car, and that is because there is no room. Like this, the front seat's in my driving position, and I understand I sit in a very odd driving position, but I just like the seat to be leaned back like that. That's just me. So that is my driving position, and my knee room is next to nothing. I got my feet I can move about, right? Because there's plenty of underfoot room, and there's heaps of headroom, but it's just, there's no knee room. Like, honestly, guys, if you're buying this to have people in the rear, you're putting them in the rear to punish them. If they're kids, it'll be easy. I just wish that Toyota put the seats on rails so you can move them forward and back, and I just don't understand. It's such a big car, you could, because the seats do recline, but they just don't slide back and forth. So just keeping that in mind when purchasing a 70 series. So what's changed? Well, it's hard to find things to talk about what has changed in this 70 series, because the layout, to be frank, is exactly the same as it has always been. They have added stuff like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and your cluster gauge has a digital screen in the far right corner that shows your fuel consumption and also the safety features that this car comes with, as well as your speed as well. So that's pretty much what they've just added. And then obviously, because it's an automatic, the center console was changed as well. So you've got two cup holders now rather than just one. You've got this place where you can hold your phone, and you've got your center armrest underneath it. It's got big enough storage because it's very deep for anything, and a little tray that comes and goes as it pleases, as you want to either keep it in the car or throw it out the car. It goes in there. But yeah, but other than that, guys, it's pretty much the same as it's always been, and it's not a bad thing because, like I said, it is built to last. The steering wheel is obviously changed as well, because that comes from a Hilux, I believe. Let me know in the comments if that is true, because it does look like a Hilux steering wheel. And because this is a GXL version, you get electric windows, carpeted floors, and also these cloth seats. Believe it or not, if you don't buy the GXL, you get wind-up windows, vinyl seats, and also I think the floors are vinyl as well. And to be frank, when you're paying just over $80,000 for one of these cars, it's a bit of a kick to the plums when you have to spend that much and you're not getting a lot. But there's a reason for it, and when I drive the car, I'll show you why as well. Also to mention, there's USB-C charging down here, and there's also a 12-volt socket. But other than that, guys, again, everything else is plainly just good old 70 series. I have to mention some of the safety tech that comes with this car, because for the first time ever in a 70 series, there has some safety tech. So you have autonomous braking, pedestrian collision alert. You also have lane departure warning. There's a reverse camera only on the wagon. There's a hill descent control, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and sign detection. So there's it tells you if you're speeding or not. So there's a sign detection alert. So also with that, but that's about it. Unfortunately, there's no NCAP rating, and there's only airbags in the front seats, which is a bit of a disappointment. I wish it did have curtain airbags. It's not much to ask for, especially again on a car that's worth over $80,000. All right, so the part of the video where I unfortunately tell you that the 4-cylinder is better than the V8. And in honest opinion, I've been living with this car for a week now, and it honestly is by a mile better than the V8. And I'll tell you why. Let's start off with fuel efficiency. So, okay, this is way more fuel efficient than the V8. So you average between 10 to 10.5 litres per 100 Ks. It has a 130 litre tank, and a tank will get you between 900 to 1,000 kilometres to a tank, which is incredible, okay? Where the V8 just drinks, okay? It's just not as efficient, okay? With increasing cost of living, this will be cheaper to run. Then there is the automatic transmission. The automatic transmission makes it so much easier to live day to day. In terms of like, just speaking like, in town, when you have to do 3-point turns, the automatic's a lot easier than the manual. And then there's just driving in traffic. You're not having to change up and change down constantly. And it just makes this car a beautiful daily driver. Comfort, guys, it's on a ladder frame chassis, so it's not the most comfortable car in the world. I will give it that. But again, this automatic makes it more manageable. and also because the engine's lighter, you actually feel the difference in the ride comfort compared to the V8, okay? And then there's the performance, okay? So from 0 to 80, this car will get you out of sticky situations, but beyond 80 kilometers an hour, it loses out of steam. And that's where the V8 comes in, okay? The V8 will just keep pulling, okay? But you never feel like there's not enough power, I'll tell you that, okay? The torque in this gets you where you need to be, okay? So all in all, guys, if I had to choose between the two, and it's an unfortunate decision, I would choose the 4-cylinder. I'm sorry to all the purists out there. I understand the V8 with the manual is a bit more mechanical and it's a bit better off-road. But if you're buying one of these to obviously be a weekend warrior and to live day to day, it is honestly the 4-cylinder which you're going to purchase over the V8. So what's my verdict on the 70 series? In particular, this GXL wagon, which is, to be fair, my favorite out of them. Well, guys, let me just end it like this. I'm a massive truck fan. I've always liked trucks ever since I was a kid, and this car hits that sweet spot. It's that nostalgia of being young again. It makes me feel like a young boy that loves trucks. It's just every man who gets in this car will love it. It's just such a blokey car. I love this car, and for that, guys, I would buy one. I'd honestly consider it. And with that 4-cylinder motor, making it more of a daily driver because it's fuel efficient, it's easy to get around, it's got that automatic transmission, which makes it not as a punish to drive day to day, I would honestly consider purchasing one of these, okay? Like Jeremy Clarkson once said, a car without faults, okay, does not have human qualities. And this 70 series has heaps of faults, which makes it more human. And that's what I love about it, guys. It's just such a good 4x4. I love the boxy shape. I love everything about it. If you're honestly considering buying a 4x4 that can do weekends away and also daily driving, mate, this turns heads and it's a great car. And you know what? One thing that no other car out there will do is this thing will last the test of times. And I put my money on that. So go ahead and buy yourself a 70 series.